That's the future of the funk, never crack like a punk. It's that was a skunk you heard. Got it. Yo, I'm joined by my Buddha Bull today, man. And yo, I know last time we spoke about on Cntrl Alt Delete episode 4. Today it's 5. We spoke about the NG Kerk, so please excuse me if my Buddha ball is here causing issues. Because you know it's very playful as a dog. But today I'm really recording this in the backdrop of what's been a very exciting week geopolitically, having experienced the whole delegation from South Africa to the White House. And with that, of course, if you watch episode 4, you'll realize we also touched on, of course, Elon Musk and his effect as far as spreading certain rumors that we are all aware of at this stage, speaking about genocide and his influence on Donald Trump, right? We saw the backlash of Tesla stock or shareholders with the stock price falling, and which luckily for us led to Elon focusing less on politics and hopefully going to do what he should be focusing on from the first place. Besides Doge, which I spoke about also in Cntrl Alt Delete episode 4 and 3, I touched on it as well. So I'm going to be elaborating on that because, in fact, what exciting development happened in the Senate this week is that a bipartisan agreement is going to be reached, seemingly, in the form of the Genius Act, which aims to regulate stablecoins. Now, also, you will realize that if you go to the first video that I recorded ever on this TikTok account, I speak about stablecoins, and that was 3 years ago. Okay, so we've come to this stage now where finally regulation in terms of crypto is finally coming to the fore, and hopefully with cryptocurrency exchanges, with cryptocurrency exchange platforms such as Coinbase becoming mainstream, having reached the S&P 500 status or breached that benchmark. Now we realize that cryptocurrency, as some of us have always been saying, is quite pivotal and needs for us as South Africans to be aware of it and to take part in it, because as I alluded before, coins like Doge, when you look at the market and demographics, they are for people such as Elon Musk. You see what I mean? Which is why I keep recording and urging people to get into the space. But coming back to the topic really of today, the Genius Act, I want to speak and dwell more on it because it aims to regulate stable coins more specifically in terms of the issuance, regulatory oversight, consumer protection, compliance, as far as making sure that the holders of such coins are able to recoup their monies in the event of maybe the exchange going bankrupt, or to avoid even rug pulls that a lot of us have experienced with local-based coins that we refer to as shit coins. You see what I mean? That in fact we've put money in and got to realize at a later stage that, look, this is a rug pull that's incoming. That's been what's happening, or that has been what has happened in this crypto space for the last 4 to 5 years, ever since 2019, when I first made my entry into the space. And so it's 4 years later, Trump is here, and therefore we have to speak more about this. Now, as I was going on about what this Genius Act aims to do, basically coordination of international money flows, curbing money laundering, as well as terrorism. Now, you'd understand in South Africa why that is important, because we have been grey listed in the past as far as your, what do they call them, the Moody's of this world, the rating agencies that have put key financial institutions in South Africa on the grey list. So that means that if one was to now borrow, in fact, let me not say key financial institutions, but the country itself, municipalities such as Mangaung, for example, it being under administration of the treasury, that has a direct impact on us. I'm recording from Mangaung right now. I'm in Rocklands, not so far from the Dr. Petros Malema Stadium, and you'll realize why this is becoming more and more important to us. Because if you realize basically why our municipality has been under administration, you'll see why that's important, because that means that we cannot raise finances in the form of bonds in the international market.
The chat box, it's called Grok. It started spreading misinformation unprompted about a so-called white genocide that's happening in South Africa. One professor is cautioning that South African lawmakers do not fully grasp the dangers of AI when crafting regulations. Let's speak more about this with Newsroom Africa's Conita Hunter. And Conita, you've actually even written a piece about this, and I think your opening line is most appropriate for us to kick off this conversation for people to understand what actually happened. You say on your article posted on News 24, South Africa just experienced an unprecedented attack on its sovereignty, and I don't think we've fully grasped the enormity of it. What happened?
Well, we know that last week, XAI, which is owned by Elon Musk, their chatbot called Grok malfunctioned. And what we saw was that any prompt, whether it was, do I look nice in the selfie, or should I choose this Croc shoe, the AI chatbot responded with unrelated information about a so-called white genocide in South Africa. And when prompted as to why this was happening, the AI responded to say that it was prompted by its founders to focus on a white genocide. The company XAI then responded because it showed two very serious things. One, the possible hallucinations of AI, which a lot of professors have been warning about and talking about. And second, the consequence of AI in trying to spread misinformation. Yeah. And it was found that this was a consequence of human intervention. Now, you and I can sit here and guess whether this is an extension of the obsession of one Elon Musk, who happens to be one of the founders of XAI, and the obsession with
in the international market. Now, stable coins are coming in, and with the clip that I've just shown, it's very critical that we realize how the fact that now we have technocrats, we have big tech coming to the fore. And by big tech, we're talking about the likes of X and Facebook, right? You will realize why now Mark Zuckerberg as well as Elon Musk have been quick to go into the space with social media. When you realize that, look, now Facebook can issue its own coin that us as Facebook users can start trading on Facebook market, bypassing financial institutions that are traditional, such as banks. Now, I hope this is making some sense to you and that you're getting some light bulb moments from realizing why it is important that chatbots, such as how we've realized the importance when it comes to X, that platform, being manipulated to, in fact, influence the narrative and discourse in a certain direction, whether that means South Africa is going through a genocide or not. You and I on the ground, we know the reality. So you and I on the ground might know the reality, but there are a lot of people that would still be on Facebook, that would still be on X, even on TikTok once again. And with TikTok, I will go there because this is not just about America and South Africa. It's also about China, of course. In China, they have WeChat. you will realize why Pokemon Go has been such a shock to the rest of us who basically, when we look at East Asia and we think, why are old people, adults, full grown adults, partaking in things like Pokemon Go that lets you follow directions using your smartphone to collect bonus, like it's like you're playing Super Mario, but you're Mario that time. You're the Mario Brothers that time. That's the world that we're living in. That's the metaverse that all these social media platforms want us to stay home and engage more and more through the metaverse with each other instead of this human touch that is so important and that is so pivotal. They want us to basically be more out of touch. If I can put it in sociological terms, Emil Durkheim, a German sociologist, puts it the alienation of society. Now, already you have that with the working class and the middle class being so separate from each other when it comes to their realities. Now, if you understand concepts such as divide and rule, you will once again understand why this is very important, that you take heed, that you realize why the 3.3 trillion market that is BTC is very pivotal for you to get into and basically understand more what we're talking about when you mean stable coins. And for that, I urge you once again, check out the earlier episodes that I recorded, especially the first one where I show you just how to use MetaMask, for example, and take part in this as we are going through a technological or fourth industrial revolution. You see, because with blockchain, their power is now becoming decentralized.